The state's Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, has commended State Health Service for its rating as one of the best in the country. The Deputy Governor was speaking while meeting with staff in his office. He said that the feat was achieved through hard work and dedication to duty by civil servants in the state. Patience John reports.
The Deputy Governor, himself a retired civil servant, called on the staff to sustain the feat, saying their level of productivity and efficiency has made civil servants in the state stand tall among their colleagues from other parts of the country. He said the meeting, while affording him the opportunity to familiarize himself with the staff, has also given him the chance to advise them on how to relate with each other for greater productivity. Mr. Moses Ekpo told them to respect their oaths of office and allegiance earlier administered on them, love themselves, be disciplined, and shun indolence in their daily endeavors.
I think Akwa Ibom State has earned itself the reputation of having the best civil service in this country. For the welfare of the workers, the well-being of the workers, with the cooperation of the service, there will be improvement.
The Permanent Secretary, Deputy Governor's Office, Lady Sylvia Ekpo, and the Director of Administration and Supplies in the office, Mrs. Ekaite Kanam, who described the Deputy Governor as a principled and disciplined technocrat, welcomed him to the office and promised the support of staff to his leadership to enable him achieve his dreams and visions for the state. They also expressed the staff's happiness and readiness to partner the Deputy Governor for better results.
We, the staff in your office, are ready to tow along with you. Sir, we will not disappoint you. Today we have seen and we have heard your blueprint, and we want to say we will run with it.
The emerging meeting witnessed praises and worship session, where staff thanked God for His mercies and love upon them. Patience John reporting.
The State House of Assembly has passed a bill to amend the College of Education law. The amended clauses of the law provide for the creation of the office of the Deputy Provost in the State College of Education. Anthony Tom has more on the bill and on events at the House of Assembly yesterday.
With the constitution of the House, the Speaker, Elder Sangulikon, stressed the need for the amendment of some sections of the law establishing the school, saying that such has become necessary given the pivotal role played by the school in training and grooming teachers for the state, and called for dissolution of the House to Committee of the Whole so that members would have the opportunity to contribute to the bill for the overall interest of the state. The lead sponsor of the bill and Chairman, House Committee on Education, Dr. Ekaite Bongokun, maintained that there was need to structure the organogram of the school for optimum output. Others who contributed said the time has come for the school to be provided with a legal backing given its contribution to the educational advancement of the state. The Speaker, Elder Sangulikon, commended the Chairman and members of the committee for a job well done, saying that such feat has proven the Fifth Assembly as the People's Assembly.
To amend the College of Education law for all matters connected to revenue is hereby read the third time and passed into law. This is the law of the land.
Meanwhile, the State House of Assembly has announced the program of events to mark the end of the Fifth Assembly. The lawmakers will on Thursday, June 4, proceed for the Thanksgiving service at the permanent building of the Assembly Chapel by 9:30 a.m. A valedictory sitting is scheduled for noon, while a reception for the lawmakers, their spouses, and other guests will hold by 3 p.m. same day. Anthony Etam reporting.
Correspondence Chapel of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Akwa Ibom State Council, has felicitated Mr. Ekeretudo on his appointment as the Senior Special Assistant on Media and Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Akwa Ibom State. The union, in a press statement signed by the Chairman Dennis Udoma and Secretary Basi Anthony, described the appointment of Mr. Ekeretudo as a reward for his many years of meritorious contributions and commitment to developmental journalism. The Correspondent Chapel of the NUJ wished that the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor will use his office to restore the integrity of journalists in Akwa Ibom State. The journalists wish Mr. Ekeretudo's success in his new assignments and promise their unalloyed support through objective reportage of the state. More news after the break. Stay with us.
It's up to us, all of us. The safety of our communities is in our hands. The police need our help and support. Boko Haram threatens our lives, our future, our country. But Nigeria belongs to us. God has blessed us with this rich land. Let us protect her as we protect each other. Report any criminal activity. Call these numbers. Your call is anonymous, and it is vitally important. Your support so far has been critical. Continuing it will make all the difference between a Nigeria of the fearful and a Nigeria of the free. Protect each other, for we are not terrorists. We are Nigerians. A message from the State Security Service.
You're welcome back. A one-day orientation exercise organized by the Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation for 22 newly employed staff of the outfit has ended in Uyo. The program provided an opportunity for the new staff to be exposed to the rules and regulations of public service alongside the rudiments of broadcasting. The stories here presented.
And responsibilities of each of the 7 directorates in AKBC. The directorates are Administration and Human Resources, News and Current Affairs, Finance and Supplies, Engineering, Marketing, Programs, as well as Planning, Research and Statistics. In her remarks, the Acting Director General of Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation, Mrs. Elsie Udofia, charged the new staff to regard their employment as a call to service by demonstrating high sense of commitment to duty. She also emphasized the need for them to be disciplined, exhibit team spirit, and promote the vision and mission of the corporation.
But I'd like to end up by saying that content is king. Where we are operating today, content is king. So as he said, even if you have the transmitter, just as he said, if you have programs or write reports to here, if you don't have content, you power the transmitter, it's of no use either. Content is king. And that's why the person who was talking from the news end said, and the programs man said, we are all encouraged to provide content.
The Director of Administration and Human Resources, Mr. Ibon Samsonian, while welcoming the new staff, charged them to be good ambassadors of AKBC. Mr. Inyang, who exposed the new staff to the public service rules, asked them to work within the ambit of the prescribed rules as they begin their career in the service.
Can be described as the gateway of the organization. It is a department through directorate which every staff must necessarily pass through, both at the point of entry, that is recruitment, and at exit through termination, dismissal, withdrawal, transfer, or retirement from service.
Those who spoke on the occasion were the Director of Finance and Supplies, Mr. Ifyong, Mrs. Ini Ansa of the PRS, Mr. Fonke Ibawete of Programs, Mr. Chris Ikpoto, who stood in for the Director News, Mr. Otoyo, of the Engineering Directorate, and Mr. Isaac, who represented the Director of Marketing. Responding on behalf of the new staff, Mr. Harrison Essien expressed appreciation to the immediate past governor of the state, Chief Godswill Akpabio, for approving their appointment. Mr. Essien also thanked the management and staff of AKBC for giving them the platform to showcase their potentials.
Staff of the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Welfare have been advised to exhibit a high spirit of diligence, transparency and honesty, and commitment to their duties. The advice was given by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Mrs. Cecilia Yang, during her maiden meeting with the staff. Mrs. Yang explained that since the new administration has come on board, all hands must be on deck to ensure that the administration succeeds. The Permanent Secretary told the staff to key into the 3-day fast declared by Governor Dom Emmanuel for protection, guidance, and blessings. Mrs. Yang called for cooperation from the staff to take the Ministry of Women Affairs to a higher pedestal in the service delivery and assure that every hard work and committed staff will be rewarded.
For the time we're going to spend together, if our minds, if our thoughts are on those things that glorify God, He will cause the negative things that may have bothered us, that will bother us, God will cause them to diminish. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. So we shall work together to establish that integrity for which He stands. And here we have this man who is known for his integrity, for his drive to bring the dawn of a new Akwa Ibom.
In his exhortation, Pastor Chibonpong, whose theme was the love of God, appreciated and thanked God for His manifold blessings on the staff and the Ministry of Women Affairs. He maintained that the current peace enjoyed in the country was an act of God and pledged the cooperation of staff with the Permanent Secretary to succeed.
It is of God's love and mercy and grace toward you and I that we are among the living today. I'm alive today because He kept me. We are alive today because He kept us. It is not by any man doing. It is of His own love and mercy.
The State Minister of Transport has warned you and its local governments against the sale of tricycle tickets by their agents. This is equal to the complaints received by the ministry about a harassment from you and its local government agents. The ministry has reminded the two local governments that they are precluded from the sale of tricycle tickets. A statement signed by the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Fiona, has advised tricycle operators to recognize and obtain tickets only from the State Ministry of Transport agents and also report any harassment to the nearest police station. The Nigerian Senate has approved the request by President Muhammadu Buhari to appoint 15 special assistants to ease his job even as it passes a number of bills as it gets set to wind up. Amidst announcements of resignation, FIFA President Sepp Blatter is being investigated alongside other FIFA officials over charges of corruption. These and other stories in our Channel 45 Foreign News segment with Mercy Akara.
The Nigerian Senate has unanimously assented to the request by President Muhammadu Buhari to appoint 15 special advisors. President Buhari had in his correspondence to the Senate requested for the appointment of 15 aides that will help him to carry out his functions as the president. Just a day before the Senate's valedictory session, 46 bills have been passed. The bills were introduced by Chairman, Senate Committee on Rules and Business, Senator Itaina. This has suspended Order 79, subsection 1 of the Senate Standing Orders that all the bills had first, second, and third reading. Senator David Mark said those who were not satisfied with the bills should raise their objections through writings. Meanwhile, deliberations to further amend the 1999 Constitution will continue. The United States Senate a bill to end the bulk collection of phone records of Americans by the National Security Agency. The USA Freedom Act was passed by a vote of 67 to 32 with support from Democrats and Republicans. President Barack Obama has signed the bill into law and has said that the government will work expeditiously to ensure national security professionals have vital tools they need to continue in protecting the country. With the USA Freedom Act, phone companies will retain data and phone call records of subscribers, while the NSA can obtain information about targeted individuals with permission from a federal court. The Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, has announced that the United Nations is set to convene an international Ebola recovery conference at the United Nations headquarters in New York on July 10. The conference is aimed at helping to mobilize the needed resources against the Ebola outbreak, as there is need for continued support for the affected region to get to 0 cases. Sudan's President Omar Hassan al-Bashir has been sworn in for the 5th term in office. Al-Bashir, who has been in power for 25 years, began his 5th term by calling for dialogue with the West and has said that he will work for prosperity in the country while calling on opposition to join him in restoring to Sudan. Meanwhile, the president had been indicted by the International Criminal Court for genocide and other alleged crimes against humanity during a decade-long conflict of Sudan's west region of Darfur. FIFA President Mr. Sepp Blatter has announced that he will office but will continue in an extraordinary Congress is called to elect a new president between December 2015 and March 2016. Mr. This decision to comes with the ongoing investigation by the United States over corruption allegations in FIFA. Last week, 7 FIFA officials were arrested in Switzerland. Mr. Blatter was re-elected for a 5th term 2 days later. U.S. prosecutors are investigating Mr. Blatter and are hoping to gain the cooperation of some of the FIFA officials who are now under indictment on charges of money laundering. Corruption allegations over payment of bribes for South Africa to host the 2010 World Cup forms part of the reasons for the crisis in FIFA. Real Madrid now has a new coach. He is Mr. Rafael Benitez. The 52-year-old former Liverpool, Chelsea and Napoli coach takes over from Mr. Carlo Ancelotti, who was sacked by the club last month.
That is it on our package. You can also watch AKBC TV News online by logging on to akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at AKBC45EU or on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. Before we go and look at the major stories, leaders of various interest groups in the state conversing for the appointments of their persons into the cabinet of the present administration have been advised to drop such ambition. The state's governor, Mr. Domi Manuel, gave the advice yesterday at the end of the second-day fast held at the banquet hall. That is it on our packet this morning. Our next bulletin comes up at 12 noon. Until then, stay and enjoy our programs. Very good morning to you.